and welcome to another EcoMove first impressions and review for the brand new Ampere Deluxe Pro. We've been really excited about this bike. We've been in discussions with Ampere about getting a mid-drive on their ultra successful Deluxes for quite some time, and I'm happy to announce that, spoiler warning, they're really good. They come in two different colors this time around, a beautiful deep blue as well as a gunmetal gray. I'm going to run through a little bit about why Ampere would want to go mid-drive with their bike, what makes it special. We'll look at a few key features on the bike and just discuss why I think this is probably one of the best mid-drive bikes at its price point. Now, just to note, these aren't Bosch motors, but the output on these definitely punching way above its weight. And just running through some of the features that you would expect to find on e-bikes, just at a much higher price point. We'll start by looking at the individual components, maybe look at what's different from the standard Deluxes, looking at the different configurations, and let's discuss whether it could be the very next e-bike for you. Let's start to get into it a little bit. So, at first glance, looking at the standard Deluxe versus the Deluxe Pro, you would think that not a lot has changed, and you would be both correct and incorrect in the same breath. So let's just take a look at a few different things. So let's just start off with the new color. This new gunmetal gray, I don't know if you can see it so well, is sort of a matte metallic finish, where the original had more of a gloss finish. I find that to be a really nice touch for the pros. But, they've kept a lot of what makes the Deluxe special. I mean, you have a lot of features that you'd find in more expensive bikes. You've got the integrated lights, front and back, along with your rack. Your mud guards come standard, as well as your kickstand. Fantastic hydraulic brakes, which is always great to see. And your adjustable head stem, seat post, and of course the Sun Tour forks. So very similar to the original in that regard. You'll see here we're using beautiful Sun Tour forks, mud guards, hydraulic brakes, and obviously the kickstands. So what makes this bike different, and what makes it worth the price jump? Well, let's start off with the derailleur down here. You'll see our new gearing system is 9 gears. And we are using a much nicer derailleur down here. We've got much nicer gearing in the back, Shimano of course. And the star of the show here is the mid-drive motor. That is pretty much what makes the Pro. This motor right here, fantastic piece of kit. It puts out about 18 Newton meters. And 80 Newton meters, put that in Bosch context, is the Bosch performance line. And as you may or may not know, the performance line bikes tend to start around the 2,800 pound mark. Now, going through to the handlebars, we'll see another difference on the bike here. We've got the new display, which I think is very slick and very, very tidy. Very neat, very bright, very big. I think it's very, very clean. You've got your lights, you've got your power assist levels there, and I just think as a heads-up display, I think it's a very clean configuration, leaving you with ample room for any accessories you may need on your bike bars. We've still kept the swept-back bars, so we're riding a Dutch style, very similar to the Ampere Deluxe, which have actually recently changed their screens. I still find the Pro a lot nicer than the original, but your taste may vary. The batteries are now, you'll find that the stem is a little bit thicker than before. That just houses the ability to have a new battery size at 17 amps. So we've got 10, like the original, 14, like the original, or a new 17 amp configuration, which should, in theory, get you about, real world riding with hills, 45, 50 miles. Your battery should get you about 24 miles. The 14 should get you about 34, and the 17 should get you above the 40. So that's real world riding. Okay, what else? So we've got the quick dropout wheel here, which is nice to have. a very bright front light, which is nice. Not crazy neat cabling, but for a bike at this price point, it's nice. It's probably one of the few things I will sort of mark it down on, is it could be neater cabling, but by all means, it's neat enough. Your gearing back here, you got a lovely hydraulic disc at the back, the 180mm disc at the back with your Shimano brakes. Beautiful to see, great stopping power, great on hills actually, and I've personally tested that myself. You'll see you've got a lock here for your battery. Your battery pops in and out of the frame quite easily, meaning you can charge it on the bike or off the bike. Solid weld marks across the bike. I mean, you can see that frame construction is really solid, so it can take quite a hit. The seat is a bit nondescript, it's not a Cellar Royale or anything like that, but believe it or not, it's one of, our customers at least believe that it's one of the more comfortable seats, and it remains unchanged from the original for just that reason. It is a really surprisingly comfortable seat configuration. The size of the bike is the same as the sort of the larger frame original Deluxe. But moving on, let's take a look at the blue variant, which is here. As you can see, it is a gloss again, but a very beautiful dark blue with black branding. All of the same beautiful features on the bike. The two color options this here are really, really nice to see. So, love. But yeah, I mean, that in a nutshell is just sort of the bike as a whole. So I had the opportunity to test ride it, and yeah, I have thoughts. So let's discuss what it's actually like to ride this bike. You know, the key feature here is the mid drive motor, and it is what makes this bike the Ampere Deluxe Pro. It is the Pro to their previous generation, and I am a bit of an e-bike motor snob myself, and I'm very much on Team Bosch. But regardless, Ampere has really taken a big swing on their new Pro model, and they've found a motor to match their ethos of sensible parts made for sensible pricing. Riding the bike, I took it out in the winter months and I put it to the test on my daily commute, and I'm glad to report it performed better than I expected, by quite a wide margin in fact. It got up to speed very quickly, maintained 15.5 on the crank without me putting in a lot of effort. Whenever I was challenged with a hill, it met that challenge head on, and it took me up some severely steep inclines without me having to break a sweat. The gearing on the bike has also been improved from the regular Deluxe, also helped a lot with hill climbs and, you know, just having a bit of extra maneuverability on the road when you need it. Very decent range out of the batteries, and for those looking for a beautiful mid-drive bike at a very, very reasonable price point and not concerned about doing endless miles, honestly, the 10 amp configuration on this bike is fantastic. They really are a fantastic improvement from the original Deluxes. The new colors are stunning. They are really pleasant to ride. The torque on the mid-drive motors makes the ride just feel exceptionally smooth. It really is a step up from the Deluxes. The Deluxes are still an incredible value bike at their current price point, but for those looking for just a little bit extra without sort of moving into the £3,000 Bosch performance line territory, I cannot recommend this bike enough. I've been test riding it to and from work for a day or two now, and I must admit I'm pretty swayed to make this my sort of daily driver. It's just a workhorse of a bike. It does everything that you want an electric bike to do without getting into ridiculous price points or adding on features that you could possibly not need. Lovely. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer as many of them as I can. If you want, grab one of these on our website. We will throw in a free gift or a bundle. I'll put a discount code below and we'll get you something cool with the bike. And yeah, please like and subscribe, as everyone says. I mean, we're a small channel. We just do cool bike reviews whenever. Any questions on e-bikes, we're happy to answer. And yeah, have a lovely time, and we'll chat again soon. Cheers.